Good afternoon, this is HorseRacingNation.com handicapper Jarrod Horak, and we're back talking Kentucky Derby Contenders. In this video, we're going to talk about the remaining horses. We talked about my 11 contenders on my list, and now we're going to talk about the rest of the horses that have enough points, and then the horses that are right on the bubble in case there are any defections. We're going to start with far right. This one has 9 career starts with 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. He's a late runner, so if he should get some pace help in the Derby. He'll try to get involved late. He was first in the Smarty Jones and the Southwest, and then he was a distant second behind American Pharoah in the Arkansas Derby. His speed figures aren't fast enough, but he's good enough probably to get a share, especially with some tiring horses that can't get a mile and a quarter. He's just going to sit back, he's going to grind away, and he has at least a shot to get, I think, a minor placing in the Derby. Bolo is the next one, and I think he's better on turf. His connections even said after his last couple dirt starts that he's probably better on turf. That was Mike Smith and Carla Gaines. They made those comments. He's had 5 career starts with a couple wins and a couple thirds, both wins on turf. His 2/3 were in the Santa Anita Derby and the San Felipe. Again, I don't know that I think he's got enough points to get in, and I think they're going to take a shot, and he did earn the points. He's earned his place in the field, but I do think that he's better, and he's going to do the bulk of his damage on the turf course when they get him back on turf later this year. It's a Knockout is the next one. He was placed first in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. That was controversial. Upstart was best that day, but he did cut this one off, but I don't think he was going to beat Upstart that day anyway. And then he met Upstart again in the Florida Derby, and he was 4th by 21 that day. Upstart was a clear second. Off that last race, it's hard to recommend him in the Derby. He was beaten 21 lengths in that Florida Derby, and then his stakes win, as I said, he had to be placed first. So I don't think that he's going to be a serious threat on the first Saturday in May. Ocho is the next one. He's had 3 wins from 5 career starts. And he was 3rd in the Bluegrass Stakes. His biggest downfall is his running style. Very similar to the top horses like American Pharoah and Dortmund and Carpe Diem, horses like that. He's got that same kind of early pressing running style, and that's not going to work against those top horses. So I think the combination of the distance and his running style, he'll probably get tired in the Derby if they opt to run in that race. Stanford's the next one. He's another one similar to Ocho. He likes to go to the lead. He's got a couple wins from 5 starts. He set moderate fractions in the Louisiana Derby, ended up finishing 2nd that day by a neck. It was a good effort, but the pace is going to be much quicker in the Kentucky Derby. He's going to face even better horses in a bigger field, and from just a pure pace standpoint, he's probably up against it. Danzig Moon, he's got 1 win in 2 seconds from 5 career starts. A vastly improved second in the Bluegrass Stakes. That was a good effort. That stamps him as one that's on the improve, and he's certainly getting good at the right time. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ran a decent race in the Derby. He's one I think that you can use at least underneath. Contender, he's got 5 career starts with a win, a 2nd, and a 3rd. He was 2nd in the Wood Memorial. He's got tactical speed. Again, I don't think that tactical type, sitting a few lengths off the lead, is going to work in here, because those horses like Dortmund and American Pharoah, they're not just going to get tired early in the race. They're going to hang in there a long time, and the longer those early pressing types hang in, the tougher it is for horses that are stalking the pace to be able to go by them, because they're going to have to use up a lot of energy trying to keep up with those good horses, and they're going to be in trouble. Mr. Z is one that only has 1 win from 12 career starts, but he comes in a lot. He has 4 seconds and 4 thirds. He was a distant 3rd in the Arkansas Derby. That garnered him enough points to get into the Kentucky Derby. I just can't imagine him winning. He's another one that's got that early pressing speed, and he's not winning any stakes races, and he's going to be in a tough spot. He also ran in the Louisiana Derby, so now he's running the Louisiana Derby, the Arkansas Derby, now the Kentucky Derby. He's got speed. He's lost a bunch of races in a row, and he's only got that 1 career win. I think the Kentucky Derby is an ambitious spot for him. Keen Ice. He has 7 career starts with only 1 win and 2/3. 4th in the Louisiana Derby. He was 3rd in the Risen Star, but he is a closer. He's got a nice pedigree, and he earned some decent late pace ratings. And just based on those numbers and his looks like he wants more ground, he's the kind of horse that if he does get in the field, you can certainly use him in your trifectas and superfectas. Now, a win would be a stretch, but I can certainly see him passing some tired horses and maybe earning a minor award. Same goes for Fermento. He's the next one in line for trainer Nick Zito. He's got a win, a 2nd, and a 3rd from 7 career starts. He was 4th in the Bluegrass, 3rd in the Fountain of Youth. He likes to sit back and plug along late, and I think that he could be at least good for a minor placing if he does get into the field. Of all the group that I just mentioned here, I think the most likely horse to do something from this whole group of horses is probably Danzig Moon. That was a nice effort last time, finishing 2nd in the Bluegrass to Carpe Diem. That was a much improved effort, and if he can build on that, based on that pedigree, Mark Cassey, a good trainer, I could certainly see him doing some damage in the Derby. Probably much more likely to finish underneath than win, but he's one that seems to be going the right way, and he has the necessary tools, I think, to at least hit the board. If you go over to horseracingNation.wordpress.com, you can find all of my Kentucky Derby videos, also all of my blogs from my top contenders that I started last September. And also, if you go over to horseracingNation.com, you can find all the latest news on the Kentucky Derby. That'll wrap up this week's video. Good luck at the races.